Hello, welcome back to Tessa Talks. How are y'all been? What's been going on? I know it's been a minute since y'all seen my face. I think it's been like a week or two going on. I know it's been a lot. Happy Father's Day. We're going to get into that. It's been a lot going on, so let's not take up too much time here. Don't forget to like up the video, comment, share, and let's jump right into today's episode. So, what's been going on, y'all? How have y'all been? I know it's been a minute since y'all seen me a little bit, a little bit of a week. Like, have you been at? Okay, where have you been at, girl? What's been happening? But if you follow my socials on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, I told you guys I was going to take a break for the week of Father's Day and Juneteenth, seeing is that it was all in the same week. So let's get into it, right? Let's talk about it. And it is Men's Mental Health Month. I haven't seen too many talk about it. I've seen a lot of the men, of course, expressing the grief that they have from society not caring about their mental health. And so we're going to talk about these things today, especially Juneteenth, that's just passing, is that it was a wonderful weekend here in DC. It was amazing. I went out, enjoyed some of the food and scenery, just seeing and soaking up the melanin that has been in the area, and it was an amazing weekend. So let's just talk about that. Let's talk about the mental R's, check in right quick. These past, week and a half has been a lot for me. Emotionally, specifically, it's been a little bit of a rockier road. School has gotten a lot. The workload has been on me, so thank God we've had a little bit of a break this last week. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll be able to chill out for a moment, recalibrate myself, maybe see what the next course's workload might be, seeing is that it is summertime. The girl is trying to do some summertime things. My birthday's right around the corner. I'm low-key stressed out, It's the bills is just bills. I can't work enough to make sure that bills is always, and plus I'm expensive. So, things tend to happen. And you just got to pay for them. Life doesn't slow down, right? So that's just kind of been where I've been at headspace wise this last week. Trying to find another job too. It's been stressful, especially within this economy. But seeing is that we got a new mayor here in DC. Hopefully that changes, Hopefully things start to get to moving like old DC used to move, But outside of that, it has been a great week and weekend this past weekend. I really, really enjoyed this past weekend with Juneteenth and Father's Day. Shout out to all of the fathers. Congratulations. I hope you had an amazing Father's Day, and to the new fathers, I hope you're ready for the journey. If you are already in the journey, buckle up, because this is definitely going to be a road. But I wish nothing but the best, and I hope that all of you have had an amazing Father's Day. Even the single fathers, or the mothers that have to pick up to be fathers too, but to my men, right, who are fathers and active fathers and present fathers and loving fathers and caring fathers and all the whole 9 yards to being a dad. I hope y'all had a wonderful weekend. I hope you had a fun weekend, and I hope that your family expressed the love that they had for you in this weekend as well. Then we also had Juneteenth. Let's talk about Juneteenth. Because Juneteenth, it was one of the first time I left the house and not wanted to pick up my phone. It was a really, really good Juneteenth this year for me. I think it's also because I got to actually celebrate it by myself. Like I said, this year has been a really big self-discovery journey, where I've just been doing a lot of things solo dolo. And I'm being okay with that. I'm used to like going out usually by usually with somebody else, not by myself, but with somebody else, friend, acquaintance, whatever the case may be, just to have a sense of, safety or camaraderie or company sometimes. But these last few months have been really eye-opening to me, seeing as that I take solo dates. I do at least 1 or 2 a month, depending on how work and school, if I'm not working as much, depends on how much school or just, finances and things like that play out. But I at least try to make it a thing of doing 1 to 2 a month. And I'm slowly realizing that whenever I do these solo dates, I unlock like a new sense of like self-worth for myself, right? Because I catch myself not only not saying no to myself, but also really pampering every bit of my needs while I'm out. And that's new to me because I've always viewed things like that to be a little selfish, right? And that was always part of me being a people pleaser, of worrying about, well, what about if so-and-so needs this, so I'm not going to do too much here because just in case somebody, and instead of just, saying fuck it, taking care of me, doing what I want to do, having fun doing what I want to do. And if that situation comes about, I know how to do what I need to do if I have it and if I don't. Simple as that, so I have to stop I learned every single time to stop beating myself up on some of the smallest of things when it comes down to being a selfless person and then being a selfish person, But back to Juneteenth, it was an amazing weekend. Went to a couple of spots. I found this Rasta spot, and I totally forgot the name. I just was walking past, smelled oxtail and some mac and cheese, and was like, oh, I need that. My stomach said, need that right now. Need that right now. So if I find it, I'm going to post a picture here. But I was definitely impressed. I was really, really happy. Which I got some photos of the food and things like that. So, but I had that. And then I took my ass down to the memorial here in DC. And I wanted to sit on the front lawn and things like that. But then I started to see Trump is starting to like barricade certain areas, so like you can't go as close as you. I don't like this. He got to go. I'm sick of him. I am sick of him. And then I'm hearing he's supposed to be turning our bridge that's going into VA. He's supposed to be putting this huge Trump like arc thing over the. I'm so sick of him. And I think the universe is like making him aware that we're sick of him because they're making him sick too. It's just what I heard in the reports. I don't want to talk about him much longer because every time I talk about Trump, he kind of like brings down my mood. Like I think about him and I get irritated. I get irritated because they're not thinking about the people who put him there. Anyway, but let's get to like the real juice of Juneteenth for me, because this is a thing that I'm starting to peep with black people on Juneteenth. I'm starting to realize that Juneteenth is starting to like has no real meaning for black people anymore. And which is sad because we fought for this day so hard. We fought for us to have a day like 4th of July so bad, but we don't like, and mind you, fireworks is legal here in DC all year round. Right? So I'm expecting for like Juneteenth events. I'm expecting like Juneteenth like cookouts, things of that nature, or like community events, things like shit like that. Yes, it was a great day. Yes, everybody was off of work. Yes, an amazing weekend. So much. But I think when it comes down to like us celebrating us, I think we should do it as big as we do all these other white tea holidays. You know, these white Caucasian holidays, you know? Like, I wanted to see Juneteenth colors and fireworks and parades. I just wanted to see a little bit more. I just want to see us, especially in this era right now where we have a president who is trying to diminish anything black as much as possible. You know? So I'm just at a place where I think where we need to like really get to going. And I've been having conversations and I've been wanting to get into more of a deeper type of like conversation when it comes down to these type of things, right? Like, where do black people really see Juneteenth, and like how does it really pertain to us as a whole? How does it really look as a collective and where we're wanting to take this? Right? Is it more than just a holiday? Are we wanting to be more collective and communicative on this type of day? Right? To me, see so much power that can come beyond just, you know, gathering on these certain days and just not being, you know, not showing the love that we have for just being black, right? Outside of just on social media. And I think that's a big conversation that needed to be had. And I don't think that we are really at a space where we even know what that looks like. Right? I don't even think we know what that really looks like in the community right now. Seeing that we're like so divided, right? When we have divided by just the LGBT black community and the black straight community, right? Between black men, black women, right? Then we have the divisiveness between the black LGBT community and black cis gays and black black trans individuals. Like, it's just so much that we have yet to come and understand with wanting to each other within community, that it's hard to really even start on where would we even want to look, where we would want Juneteenth to look like. Sorry, I don't know why that was so much of a jumble, but I also think that striking up these type of conversations and starting to build that foundation will give us some type of leg room, right? Versus these holidays just come by each year and we just do the same thing and it shows no meaning, right? Because they already look at Black History Month as a non-relevant month, right? Because why? What is the purpose? What is the, why are we outside of the education of Black individuals where they don't really want us to be educated on our history in the first place? So we have to give these things some type of meaning in community, right? We have to start getting active within our communities with each other, not so much to impress the others, right? But I think that kind of conversation leads into what I want to talk about next. Okay, guys. Hey, we're back. And the next part we're going to talk about is something. Oh, y'all probably hear Scoobers back there. Scooby-Doo. See, yep, look at him. Look at him. He was sleeping. I done called him and stuff. My bad, stinker. My bad, him. Oh. My bad, handsome. Yeah. Good boy. Sit down. Sit down. Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. Back to what I was saying. Men's mental health. All right. It's men's mental health month. Okay. And there's not enough people talking about it, but there's also not enough men taking it seriously. Right. I think my biggest thing is not that it is mixed up with pride, not that it is, not talked about enough, but I think that it is something that our community does not focus on and take seriously enough within our community. Men's mental health is way more important than a lot of people like to admit to. And I think where the disconnect within community is that men aren't taking their own mental health as serious as they want everybody else to take their mental health, right? And I think that's where the disconnect really takes part in, especially whereas I can get where these men 9 times out of 10 are having a hard time expressing that they don't even know where to start on their mental health, let alone express that they have mental health issues or problems or barricades in the first place, right? Let's be really honest. I'm specifically going to be talking about Black men when I talk about Men's Mental Health Month, right? That's because that is the men that I am in community with majority of the time, and that is the type of man that I am mainly attracted to, right? When it comes down to relations, intimate relations, or even just friendships, I am more gravitated to Black individuals, Black men. And what I have noticed with the Black men in mental health conversation, it can either go one or two, and maybe even 3 ways, right? One side of the coin is that they are aware that they might have mental health issues, but they don't know where to start. Like I said earlier, they don't know where to start. They don't even know how to, verbalize or express what it is that they might be going through. Then we have another side where they don't believe that they might be having mental health issues at all, and don't believe that they exist, and don't believe that they need assistance, right? And then we have the middle ground, where I would like to say is the lost individuals, where they might be aware, right? They might be even somewhat expressive to what it is that they are going through, but they are the individuals that don't want to either change or don't know how to change, or just feel like they aren't going to be able to change, right? Because they are so stuck in that cycle of nothing's going to ever change for them, period, because this is who they are. Or they have that thought process as that, well, because it starts here, there might be the whole encompass me to begin with, right? Where that's not the case. And then, unhealthy coping mechanisms start to take effect in these areas. And then that's where the misconjunction or the disconnect really happens within community, when we're trying to get black men to be more aware and accountable for their mental health, right? And how healthy that they are being to themselves, and how that affects them being healthy to others, right? And I think what comes along with the mental health conversation is not just mental, but emotional health, right? And understanding your emotional intelligence and emotional awareness, your emotional capacity. All of these things are things that men, specifically black men, aren't raised to know about, right? They aren't raised to understand what emotion is. They aren't raised to be in tune with these emotions, to understand that these emotions are okay to have, right? That these emotions do not equate to you being weak or fragile. Vulnerability does not make you soft, naive, or green, right? Where a lot of the time, that's where y'all are having struggles. We're finding individuals to be vulnerable to be able to express to, right? And then you have the barriers that when you do, you don't know if it's going to be used against you. You don't know if it's going to be used in a harmful manner, right? You don't know if your vulnerability will be used against you, right? And that is totally worth understanding. But I think where men have to start being more strong and okay with is that is going to come with any and everything that you choose to do for yourself, period. Right? That you're going to have the negative reactions. You're going to have the he says, the she says, all of these things, because you're doing something that most men have yet to be able to do, or even find themselves being able to do, right? When another man, I've noticed, sees that they are breaking down the societal walls that were built for him, right? Not able to see himself in the light that he needs to see himself, that plays a part in how other men start to react and see him. Right? And that plays onto a man's mental, right? Because men are a lot more gushy-ushy and sociable than women are. They really are. Men are just big old puppies. They want to be rubbed on. They want to be loved on. They want to be coddled and cradled, right? But society has made it look very weak to have that type of wants. And I think that is where we take the purity from men, right? We take the character from men, because a lot of the times the softness of a man is what brings together a home. Sometimes, not taking away what women bring, not saying that women's softness is not, it does not equate to what a man, but I don't know if anyone who's listening, if any of my listeners have ever experienced the softness of a man, right? Rather it be from their father, brother, cousin, lover. You know what I mean by that. and seeing that childlike state of that man where he feels safe, right? And I think a lot of the time where men are having the hardships is always having to put on this mask and armor and shield and sword, and not having a space to be that soft boy. And not and this is what we have to do as women, right? We have to stop diminishing their experience when they say they want this space, right? Because women, we create these spaces within our collective, right? But men don't seem to be able to do that without being either criminalized or looked at to be homosexual, or to have some type of misogynistic or patriarchal lens put upon them, right? It's hard. I hear the men when they say it is hard to find a place for them to be able to take care of the mental health like they need to, without feeling like they are weak or they are soft or they are fragile for doing so, right? Like, how are we supposed to raise boys into men that care about women and that are emotionally intelligent and aware when we aren't pouring that into these boys, to letting them know that, hey, being emotionally in tune is okay. Hey, expressing yourself verbally, emotionally, mentally is okay. Anger is not the only emotion that you have to exhibit nor express to get your point across, right? Being physical, right, does not have to be the first go-to when you're wanting to show how you're feeling or to control a situation, right? We need to be able to let these little boys know that their mental health and their emotional health matters. And starts at home. We cannot keep pushing these biased opinions because you had a failed relationship or because you picked an individual based off of their looks and didn't realize that the man that you were sleeping and laying with, his emotional and mental capacity was lacking. His integrity and his character did not align. He wasn't going to be able to teach these children how a man is supposed to operate properly outside of just fucking financing and feeding them. Right? It's a lot of different things where this men's mental health conversation affects so many different avenues within our communities. And it's not talked about enough. Y'all want men to be these providers. You want men to be financial leaders. You want them to be the ballers of the household. But are they even mentally well wrapped? Do they have the financial literacy to make sure that these things are going to stay stable and successful and afloat? You know, these are just things that lead and take part in a man's mental health. Ladies, if we want our men to be better communicators, we have to be able to give them space and room to not just communicate, but learn how to display these things that we are needing to get from them. Men, my last and final little take on this is that in order for us as community to take your mental health seriously, we need to see you taking it seriously too. We need to see you wanting to get the therapy, wanting to get medicated and stabilized, wanting to Be in tune with yourself. Be comfortable with yourself. Be truthful with oneself, right? It also takes with self-love. You guys have to give yourself grace, and you have to love the man that you are. The trauma that you go through does not make you the man that you are. And lastly, I think I would like the men to also take heed to how your mental health will shape how your kids and the people around you, and how you succeed throughout the rest of your life, right? Your mental health will shape everything around you. But look, y'all, I am not going to be on here for too much longer because listen, this editing process be whooping a girl. And for her to stay on a stable, consistent flow of getting this out at least once a week for y'all, I'm going to have to cut this down. I can't be giving y'all forever long videos. I'm going to start breaking it down and giving y'all like part ones and part twos if that's the case, y'all. If that, just let me know of what y'all want for real, because we about to start getting into some other things. We about to start doing some show reviews. My show Bleach, if y'all know, y'all know. If you know, I'm an anime girly at heart. Okay, I'm a big blurred, big blurred. Okay, from Marvel, DC, anime, all of that, gaming, all of that. So we will be getting that together here soon as well. And we will be definitely trying to get all of this, pushed out, getting more content out, different things outside of y'all just sitting here and listening to me talk about random BS. We're going to get this together. But like I said, y'all, catch me back next week. All right. I will be back next week. It'll be the end of the month, start of a new month, right? End of Pride here in DC. I hope y'all had a wonderful Pride season. I hope y'all had a wonderful Juneteenth, Father's Day. There was a lot going on this month, and I hope y'all had fun. I will catch y'all next week on Tessa Talks. See ya!